Want to see my new car? No, I'm telling you, this thing is sick, borderline nasty. And it's dependable, it's efficient.
Oh, cool, is this the new Forester?
Nuh-uh, Forester Sport. The Subaru Forester has held an important role. For a while now, it's been one of the most affordable ways to get a well-rounded box on wheels. The new car is still capable of hauling a lot of stuff to a lot of places, but it makes a few more promises. Without a doubt, this is a nicer car than it replaces. And it better be, because the price increased by $3 grand. In fact, it's more expensive for 2025 than the Outback. I'll compare the two soon. This is running on the same Subaru Global architecture as it was before, but now it's a whopping 10% more rigid. While that does just sound like a PR talking point, make no mistake, Subaru has loved on every angle of this thing. First, they say it's more quiet. At 65 miles per hour, the 2024 ran at 67 decibels. Let's see what this one does. And indeed they were right, maybe by just a decibel or two, but I will say it seems like wind noise is reduced. I'm still getting some tire noise in here. That's not the only thing they changed. They also improved the steering. They've tweaked the engine to make it a little bit more power down low, while also using the wider range of ratios that you could find with the previous generation Wilderness model, but not the final drive, so you still get good gas mileage. And they've also said that the interior moves a little upmarket too. The panel gaps might be a little tighter. I also appreciate the new accents and textures, which are further improved on higher grades. The miscellaneous Easter eggs are neat, but considering the price tag, I was hoping Subi would do more to make this premium than add a dash of suede and flip me the bird. It's by no means a night and day difference in quality. In fact, the elbow rest points aren't as soft. And I think compared to the CR-V, and especially the CX-50 and CX-5, this does feel more cheap. However, even the softer points feel rugged and should be easy to clean and not show a ton of wear. In fact, they switched to a dark headliner for this exact reason. It retains the tough outdoorsy feel of the previous generation, and it also retains the outward transparency of a dog that wants your food. This visibility is one of the biggest differentiating factors the Forester has. As is the cargo area. Not only could you fit a K9 back there, you could fit 9 of them. It also has good length and height. This should be great for moving furniture, though the measuring tape of truth reveals that there's not really much of a difference compared to the last car. Same goes with the back seat, but that's also not a complaint. I'm 6'3", I can easily sit behind myself, and so long as you don't get the base version, you'll have rear console vents and charging ports to accompany you. And back there, I really do appreciate the cheaper but more durable materials so that it can stand up to abuse. Briefly, I'd like to thank the community-focused and knowledgeable Royal on the Eastside in Bloomington, Indiana for letting me test drive a few Foresters to make this video possible. If you're in the market, check them out and tell them thanks for me. On the surface, you would think paying more that you would get more features, but the differences there are slight. On the premium, you'll still have driver's lumbar adjustment, a panoramic roof, and heated seats like they used to, though now you can get a wireless charger that probably won't charge your phone. The Sport will get full StarTex upholstery, which is nice. The top trim gains a 360 view camera, and a new hands-free power tailgate is now standard and exclusive for the limited in touring. What I appreciate the most here is the added seat comfort. These cushions hug me a little bit more. The seat bottom is longer, improving thigh support. So this would be a great road trip companion. There's also limited glossy surfaces in here, so it should look good for a while. My only real complaint applies to every Subaru, and that is the infotainment system. The response time in this is below average. It honestly just feels a little old for something that does embed so many controls. I do like that Subaru leaves out some of the HVAC and radio inputs. Overall, the infotainment is just a small stain on an otherwise durable interior with improved comfort and an inoffensive design. And on the outside, Subaru will say it looks more handsome. I say it looks less like an egg, but more like a Ford. Since most people got the previous alloy package, they've made that standard now. The Sport with the bronze treatment does look a little bit better in my opinion, but let me know what you guys think. I won't lie, this will blend into the parking lot, but unlike some of its competitors, it does have fog lights, and ground clearance stays at an impressive 8.7 inches. There are a lot of high points to the Forester driving experience, but for most, the powertrain isn't one of them. So you'll have a revised version of their 2.5-liter Boxer 4. Subaru's improved the torque down low, but by very minuscule numbers, to the point that it doesn't really feel any different. The engine is exclusively hooked up to an updated continuously variable transmission. Yes, it's about as engaging as texting a stranger, however, it works in the background well, it's responsive, and it's better for 2025. Because this now has a wider spread of ratios, I do think from low speeds, it's more smooth than it was before. I wouldn't say that there's a notable difference in peppiness. Expect 0 to 60 to come up in 9 seconds flat. And also, passing power is just okay. I think if you're at high elevation or you haul a lot of people and gear, you might long for more power, and I'd expect you to get it with the upcoming hybrid. Though if you want to destroy the ego of most 80s Corvette owners, you'll have to go Outback to get a turbo with its sub 6 second 0 to 60. But as you might expect, this will come with standard full-time all-wheel drive. I like this system for a lot of reasons. One, it's not scared to send power to the rear. The equal-length drive shafts eliminate torque steer. They've revised a few things, and I was told by a Subaru representative that it'll actually send power quicker to the rear to help while cornering. And while I don't really think any changes were necessary, I like that Subaru has adopted the spirit of continuously improving things. The Subi's ground clearance, ability to get torque to the back, and aggressive X mode have made it one of the best offerings for clearing obstacles or adverse weather conditions. Go for at least the Sport and you'll get a mud mode that allows more wheel spin for trickier situations. The new Wilderness trim is still somewhere over the horizon, and I'd wait for that one if you want better gearing, aggressive tires, more underbody protection, ride height, along with, of course, cartoonish bodywork. Sure, any 4Runner with four-wheel drive is more capable, but the appeal to the Forester is that it still handles like a car. The addition that I appreciate the most is the dual pinion steering, which, you know, here doesn't really provide a whole lot of steering feedback, but it's a little bit less vague on center than the previous car. It makes it feel precise while retaining one of the quickest steering ratios in the class. So if you want to change direction, this can do it rapidly. This feels very easy to drive and car-like, and throwing it around rough corners, this does handle well. Even if this is softly sprung and there's some body roll. I think the CR-V and the Mazda CX-5 maybe feel a little bit more planted, but this is more forgiving than those. And if you want some more body control, the Sport trim will tidy things up with a retuned suspension that hardly sacrifices comfort. It's forgiving over small to medium-sized imperfections, it takes potholes on the chin pretty well, but so did the previous car. And maybe it's a little bit more smooth over undulations, but after driving them back to back, the difference in ride quality is negligible. Subaru knows the people who drive these, and they don't try to convince themselves that their customers are looking for an authentically sporty driving experience. And pulling it up to highway speeds, sure, it's a little bit more quiet, but I actually find myself thanking Subaru for better thigh support more than the added insulation. And all of them will now have the tri-camera eyesight setup, which can still nag you quite a bit, but it does come with standard adaptive cruise, and this also hasn't lost anything that Subaru is known for. It's still extremely approachable and easy to drive, very versatile, has good ground clearance, good efficiency, and with all the basic fundamentals of the powertrain and chassis remaining the same, this should also still be reliable. The biggest issues that people had with the previous generation were actually down to infotainment bugs, easily cracking windshields, some battery drain, unrefined driving aids, and middling build quality, most of which affected the early models. And there was also the thermo control valve. Supposedly it was fixed in 2022. Some have debated against that, yet Cars.com and Edmunds owner reviews show limited problems and good satisfaction rates for the entirety of the generation. If you prioritize reliability, this should be a good one just working fuel induction cleaning surfaces, as this is direct injection only, and I'd also recommend a transmission fluid swap every 50 to 100,000 miles depending on your usage. That should keep the transmission problem free and prevent it from leaving you stranded or stealing your identity or whatever the comment section's probably going to say. This does, maybe just barely, earn the title of redesign. And a well thought out one too, because if you look at the complaints of the previous generation, people wanted it to be a little bit more quiet, have a more refined transmission and interior. Something that maybe cared a little bit more about your desires and wants rather than just hammering home the needs. I think Subaru did achieve this, but do I think it justifies the extra cost that they're asking? There's two ways that I can answer that. One is yes, this offers a lot of versatility and comfort for the money. 2, it's still a well-rounded box, but now it doesn't undercut the competition or the Outback in price anymore. If you can stretch your budget a tad, cars like the Honda CR-V provide more performance, better build quality, and improved handling. The Mazda CX-5 and 50 slack a little on the practicality, but costs less feature for feature and improve upon quality and fun. That all said, with the Forester, they went after its low points and fixed most of them. It's a better car than its predecessor, and it continues to be a jack of all trades, while teaching the class in some. For $25, I think it's the perfect car for the person that's been wanting the refinement of an Outback with the form factor of a shopping cart. But its new price point does remove one of the most important things that made this stand apart from the rest. Time will tell if this was the right move. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like to help me take on the maniacal YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more fun, detailed car content without fluff. Consider becoming a member for an additional podcast and to help me take on bigger projects. I'll catch you in the next one.